D-Rock Irish is going to James Madison for wide receiver Antwane Wells. Do you know anything about him in the transfer portal?
Right as you were leading us into the show, I saw that Miami offered him this gentleman, and I retweeted it because Gabby Arrudia, former contributor at State of the U, now at 247, he did some quick work on some background stats. Antwane Wells, 83 catches for 1,250 and 15 touchdowns last year, 3 years of eligibility left. So some pretty huge numbers for a James Madison team that I believe they went deep in the playoffs, if not to the championship. I mean, they usually get like quarters or semis, if not further. So that's not a program to shake a stick at that level. That's one of the top programs at that level. And he was, I mean, with those kind of numbers, 83 for 1,250 and 15, like you have to be. I mean, if there was a receiver on that team that did more than that, I want, like, how do we not all know everything about their entire offense? You know what I mean? Like, you got, that circling back to the earlier conversation, you're talking about 2019 LSU offensive numbers. If that's your number 2 receiver, you know what I mean? But yeah, I would need to look into like more about him and his build but like clearly by demonstrated performance on the field, I think that that's at least a worthy offer. Where we go from here, that's a different conversation. But yeah, so I did just see that. And based on numbers alone, I wouldn't hate it. And especially the biggest number for me, without having looked at anything else, is the number 3. And that's the number of years of eligibility that he has remaining. So you're not even getting a 1-year KJ Osborne rental. And KJ Osborne was incredible for Miami. And he's having a great NFL career. And I'm so happy that he's in the rotation. I hate this for the Vikings. So, I'm afflicted with being a Lions fan. But you know what I mean? But he's making a name for himself. He's doing the thing out there. Punt returns, kick returns, receiving. He's doing great. And I really would have wished that we could have had him for more than 1 year. Now, we could have had Charleston Rambo for more than 1 year. He just came in and set records for catches in the season, receiving yards in the season. So he said, you know what, I'm going to leave. But with 3 years left, and we could maybe get 2 at least out of this Wells kid, that might not be a bad thing. But again, you're literally getting live reaction. I just saw the tweet come down. I don't know anything past that, but that's my in-the-moment initial reaction thought.
Falconer X is here. Appreciate you being here, Falconer X. Thank you so much. Happy New Year to you as well.
Happy New Year.
Happy, yeah. Okay. That's what it was. Yes. If I'm going to read the super sticker correctly. Yes. Happy New Year. Sure. Okay. Tony Diaz. Thank you for your super sticker as well. Appreciate that. I still don't know what those things are, but we appreciate them so much. So thanks for the contribution. All right. Frank Latson, the Clemson standout. Well, I shouldn't call him a standout wide receiver, potential standout wide receiver, certainly highly acclaimed coming to campus, but hasn't done much at the collegiate level. Is there some reason to believe that he's coming to Miami?
I mean, there was chatter about that initially when he decided to go into the transfer portal. And again, he's from here, he's from Homestead. He went to South Dade. That's the same high school that Antwane Roll starred at. And then many other guys who have come to Miami from South Dade. I do not have that categorical list off the top of my head, but just trust me, it's not only Antwane Roll from South Dade who's come to Miami. So yeah, that was like kind of the clear thought of like, okay, I'm leaving Clemson. I'm going to follow the path of like a Tyreek Stevenson. I'm going to go back to the crib where probably should have gone from the beginning. And it's funny, there's been so many players who have openly said that. And there's a couple that I've interacted with personally, and they're like, no, yeah, I 100% should have went to Miami. And again, this just reinforces my belief that if you give players any reason to come to Miami, they will. But we're not even giving, or had not previously given them even the baseline single thing. I mean, because like you get a Duke Johnson. Duke Johnson said, I'm going to Miami, everything else be damned, right? And which is incredible, right? But there was literally not even a single reason for him to come to Miami, right? It was just, I'm going to go to Miami and that's it. And all these kids have gone to all these other places. I'm not saying that every single one would have, but if you give them a reason, they will. And, for Latson, I think, he's seen how transfer portal has worked. I think, obviously, you see other guys come in and do well, especially at the wide receiver position in the last couple of years, transferring in. And that just bolsters the thought that he would come in. But I think the fact that he has not already made a decision is why, maybe, hey, this is why we offered the Wells kid today. And maybe while we're looking at, maybe another or other wide receiver options in the portal, because, he's decided that he wanted to play it or, slow play it a little bit. And that's fine. And we could circle back and take Latson or whatever, but I don't think that it's a foregone conclusion at this moment. Otherwise, he would have jumped if he was feeling froggy.
Yeah, I got to say that going back to your previous statement about KJ Osborne, as I block someone here that I believe is a bot. Anyway, I got to say, in watching NFL games, I was a bit surprised the first time I realized that KJ Osborne's a player in the league. Not that I had anything against him or thought that he wasn't a decent player at Miami. He just didn't strike me as, okay, this guy's going to be a standout player at that level.
I mean, you can pretty much say that about KJ Osborne his entire career. 2-star recruit. He went to IMG, first of all. So he leaves, I think he's from Ypsilanti, Michigan. Eastern Michigan area, or that's over by Eastern Michigan, the university. But yeah, he goes to IMG. He's a guy on that team who played really well, but maybe a little smaller, maybe a step or two slower than you might otherwise want. Goes to Buffalo, eventually blows up with that 7'3", 500-pound quarterback that they had with the arm. What was his name? Jackson?
I can't remember his name.
Last name Jackson, I remember. It was huge. Okay, I exaggerated.
Jarius Jackson?
It wasn't Jarius Jackson. But they had a quarterback who was like 6'7", 260, and he could throw the ball like 80 yards. So he plays well there. Then he comes to Miami for his grad transfer year, does well here, and sets the foundation for what it looks like to work at the wide receiver room. Either 7th-round draft pick or undrafted, goes into the league and just works like he'd been doing for years from when, he's at IMG, and every coach who comes down is looking at everybody else. He goes to Buffalo, and every coach up there is looking at other people, including that massive quarterback and another receiver on the team. And then he comes to Miami. But he's shown what hard work and dedication can do. He and Braxton Berrios, who's about to get a big extension, good for him.
Yeah, I saw Braxton Berrios take one to the house just last weekend or the weekend before.
It was the weekend before, but then he also had a receiving touchdown and a rushing touchdown the next week after he had a kickoff return touchdown. Like, Barrow's been balling. Like, he's doing the thing. And it's taken this long. And I'm going to say a thing, and I know the Miami fans are going to be really mad at me, and I don't care. But the decision to take Berrios in that recruiting class instead of Joystick McKenzie actually looks right. And it took this long, and I know that Joystick McKenzie did crazy things at Georgia, but if you extrapolate it out, you followed the entire path, like what Berrios did here and what he's continuing to do.
Sure.
Like, I get why. I know people are like, Cam, I can't even believe that you said that. I said it. I think they made the right move.
Yeah, so Tyree Jackson's your guy.
Tyree Jackson.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he was a big dude. He was the Dante Culpepper of his day, I guess. Cam doesn't typically major on 2023 already, but I'll put it on the screen just in case you have any thoughts about these two particular players.
Those are two 5-star quarterbacks Miami has offered recently. They're both from California, I think, if I remember correctly, because Moore, I believe, is from there, and Imo Leyva is as well. No, I don't have an either or preference right now. Transparently, the secret day job has been kicking my ass recently. I've worked like 13 of the last 14 days or 14 of the last 15, and I had a scheduled vacation and I had to return that plane ticket because I've been working a lot, and which means that it takes away my time that I would otherwise be doing things like relaxing on a day off and maybe, blogging a little bit more, looking at the film of these guys that I've seen the offers come down for. So let's just put a pin in that one and come back But I am aware of both of them. I am aware that they are both either high 4-star or 5-star guys. I'm aware that, I mean, based upon that Miami would be in a good position with probably either of them. But I don't have a Coke or Pepsi decision between those two at this time.